Welcome to Connect, the segment in our service where we learn about how God is connecting at His church. God is at work, and it's incredible to experience. He's bringing people to us who are in great need of His reviving power and direction, and we're so glad we get to be a part of what God is doing. Recently, I was in my connection group class, and a first-time guest showed up. She mentioned to our class how she had heard about our church through a missionary. He had met her mom because of a flight they were on together. The missionary had learned that she had a daughter who lived in Connecticut, and so he gave her a tract to our church. I was so curious about this story that I turned around and I asked if she knew where this person was a missionary to. I knew I wanted to tell his story.
I told him I think it was a missions person from Mexico or California, I'm not really sure. But here I am and I'm excited to be here.
I was coming into church one evening and I saw a new girl. I asked who she was. Her name's Megan. And I said, "How did you get here?" She said, "Well, really, my mother was invited by somebody that she met on a plane." As we entered, I said, "Who was that?" She said, "I have no idea." But when I scanned the foyer, I thought, who could have gone to California? And there was Humberto.
So she went right up to Humberto and asked him.
And asked me if I had been to a conference in the summer in California. And I said, "No, I didn't go to California for a conference. I know that for sure." And then she kept pressing me, "Yeah, you sure you didn't go to California to a conference or on a trip?" But then I was like, "Oh yeah, you know what? I did go to California for a camp. I had gone and helped film for a camp in the summer." And at that point, Megan came walking up to us, and then it started clicking for me. And I said, "Oh, I'm the missionary. Yeah." I remember on my way back from that camp, meeting a lady who was talking about her daughter who needed a better church to attend, one where she could get more connected with young adults. And I just shared with her that, hey, maybe you could give this tract to her as you're visiting her. It was great to then relay that message to Megan and say, "Megan, I'm the missionary you were talking about in our class." And I was thrilled to be a part of this really cool story.
He connected the dots and realized that he had been sitting beside Megan's mother. It's so exciting to see what God is doing in all of the unique ways that He brings people together and lets us reach out to other people and creates a larger growing church family.
God has unusual ways of using us, and this usually means people get to experience Him in a profound way, and in God's favorite place, church. God recently used a Chick-fil-A in Virginia, of all places, to help a family find us as a church home. Elliot and Kalani were on a trip from Tennessee to Connecticut. They stopped at a Chick-fil-A and met a couple who knew about our church and said they should check us out. They came and God allowed us the privilege of hearing their story and seeing them become a part of our church. God is connecting us, and as God brings people to His church, we want to help usher them into a growing relationship with Him. Through our Starting Point Brunch event this last month, we gathered together all the most recent regular attenders and new members and shared our heart on how God's been leading His church and what it means to become a part of this reviving church family. Many go through this time with our staff and church leaders inspired to get more involved and determined to make this their long-term church home.
The minute we walked in, we knew this was our church. Well, at the beginning, we said, "Wow, it's crazy, almost 50 miles to go to church," but we kind of make it a day on Sunday. We go out to eat after. It's getting easier every time, every week.
It gets shorter as we go.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
We love our Sunday school class, and we love pastors preaching.
Oh, so much.
And it was nice because a few weeks ago, Brett and I went out soul winning. And it's been many, many years. But it was exciting to get back to that.
We saw hundreds of guests at our open house this last fall. It was amazing. Hundreds came to experience our church for the first time, and then many came back to hear Patch the Pirate at our Sunday night concert. If you give of your time or of your resources here, you have a part in what God did during this time. Many accepted Jesus into their lives that morning, and many saw you living out your mighty and attractive faith. Because of your willingness to follow God's lead in giving and serving here, we saw our children's area rededicated and revitalized. Kids' faces shine with excitement as they walk the newly furnished and rededicated halls they now call their space. As you give, we are able to host many and then show them the love of God. We are so privileged to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We grow together, we serve together, and we love together. That is our purpose. This is why as a church we exist. And it translates into impactful moments upon the hearts of thousands across our nation. It's incredible that 4 years ago, a small group of 140-ish people who looked like they were destined for failure not only survived, but helped others survive. The reviving power of God goes deep, expands wider than we could even imagine. In the past 30 days, we gathered about 140 pastors. We saw God refresh them and were refreshed ourselves. We gathered thousands of dollars worth of Thanksgiving meals, and we went into our city delivering to others what they could not afford. We strengthened marriages through a retreat where marriages were saved and shaken into more commitment and more love. Think about the generational impact of just these last 30 days. All of this and much more we could not even describe to you in such a small segment. God is doing because we began to listen again and follow again and passionately on our knees seek again. The God of the holy book you hold. It's powerful. No other theme could revive like this, but God's leadership and God's word can. We have not yet seen what God intends to do with us. If we continue to give and listen and follow and with a heart full of love for Him, obey His command, we have a joyous future ahead of us. There are many we have not yet reached, many we need to reach, broken, lost, and confused, not having answers to life's greatest questions. There's no question, God is at work here and in our nation. We love it, we can't get over it, and we can't deny it. It's Him. He's connecting us, and He's doing it for His purpose, and we want to see it continue. And that's this month's Connect. We hope you've enjoyed hearing about what God is doing at His church and are inspired to get connected.